Welcome to this episode of the Harpreet Singh Show. In today's segment, we are going to talk to Mr. Bruce Ralston, who is a MLA in Surrey. ਅੱਜ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਇਸ ਵਿਸ਼ੇ ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਕਿ ਸਿਰਫ 100 ਦਿਨ ਤੋਂ ਘੱਟ ਰਹਿ ਗਏ ਨੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ BC ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਲੈਕਸ਼ਨਸ ਹੋਣੀਆਂ ਨੇ, ਉਸ ਸੰਬੰਧ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹ ਕੀ ਫੀਲ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ BC ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਜਟ ਨੂੰ ਬੈਲੈਂਸ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਕੁਝ ਬਿਲਡਿੰਗਸ ਨੂੰ ਵੇਚਿਆ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ। ਇਸ ਸੰਬੰਧ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਓ ਕੁਝ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲੈਣੇ ਆ ਬਰੂਸ ਰੈਲਸਨ ਤੋਂ। Welcome to the program.
Thanks very much for inviting me.
Thank you. So Bruce, little bit now, let's talk. Election fever is going to gear up now. Just 100 days, less than 100 days are left now for the election. So what are you seeing all across wherever you're going, meeting the people? What kind of enthusiasm they have about the elections, and what are the major issues which are coming forward?
Well, I think people are looking forward to the opportunity to express an opinion on the Ms. Clark's government. It's been some time in coming, and I think excitement is building. Certainly, the issues that our leader Adrian Dix sees as important are in particular a couple of key issues. One issue is the growing inequality in our society, and the way in which we think we can tackle it, not all at once, but over time. And that's to build a program of skills training and education that will give our children and those in the workforce who are out of work a better opportunity to seize a future and for themselves and their families.
Mm-hmm. So this is a major issue which you are harping upon, and that's what is coming forward, the inequality which is increasing.
And the best way, I mean, there are certain, as a provincial government, you can't do everything to change that, and we're also well aware of the economic times in which we live, in the sense that budgets will be tight, the fiscal situation will not be easy, and is not easy. So we're advocating a program that's practical, that's affordable, and that I think offers real hope for the future.
Right. And Bruce, this present government is harping upon the issue of economic development which has happened in BC, and that is only the Liberals which they claim can bring about. So if you can let us know a little bit about this, because you have been a finance critic also. The policies which have been brought forward by this present government, how do you rate them? And especially now with the budget coming forward, we have heard that some properties are being sold to balance the budget and everything. So these kind of things which are happening, how do you view these?
Well, a couple of things there. One is that the government likes to talk about its ability to balance the budget. In fact, they're using our money, taxpayer money, to play ads on television saying that they're balancing the budget. They haven't balanced the budget for the last 4 years, and in their time in office, they've had seven deficits of 12 budgets. So their record isn't good. In this coming budget, what they have said, and the previous finance minister said last year, that they would sell government properties to balance the budget. To fill the hole in the budget, they would sell government-owned properties. Now, governments buy and sell property. That's part of the business of government. You buy property for developments, whether it's hospitals, schools, prisons, or whatever. And you sell properties too. But to have a program targeted to sell property just to fill a hole in the budget, that's very unusual and a sign of their failures as fiscal managers.
Mm-hmm. And if, like, whatever the polls are coming and your party gets elected, there are a lot of issues which need to be addressed, and as far as the social inequality is concerned, as far as the buildings infrastructure is concerned, the schools are concerned, the healthcare is concerned. So a lot of things need some improvement. So what would be your priorities, your party's priorities, which you are discussing in your with your leader and other members of your party?
Well, there's no doubt that there's an appetite for change. Certainly, that's what we sense. But on the other hand, we want to bring forward change a practical step at a time. So, and one of the ways that we can begin to work on our future, and I think the government has what they call a job strategy, and it's really a failure. The job growth in British Columbia over the last year and a half since the program was announced has been 8th in terms of other Canadian provinces, so very weak job growth. we think we can begin to turn that around, and they've neglected some of the basics that can be done, which is training people for the jobs of the future. What I think most people realize is that 80% of the jobs of the future will require some form of post-secondary education, whether it's adult basic literacy, skills training, apprenticeship, university business programs, and even up into academic research for scientific research for developing new drugs or things like that. So the best way to solve problems is to bring the skills, intelligence, and ingenuity of Canadians and British Columbians to bear on those problems. And so I'm optimistic about what we can do. I think it's something that the government hasn't done the job on, and I think people really feel that.
Right, and especially this time is going to be a crucial time with less time and people have to decide, and lots of doles and other issues are going to come forward whereby people are going to be enticed, and then there's going to be some fear mongering also, which has already started also. So what would be your advice to the public to how to make up their stand, who are the bench sitters right now and haven't made up their mind regarding any political party?
Well, Adrian Dix has said that we're going to run a positive campaign. We're going to talk about our alternatives, the way we see going forward and the best for the future. The Liberals or the Premier's Political Action Committee may, and I think has already started, running some ads which are a new low standard. They're American-style politics, very negative. I don't think people want that. People are looking for positive alternatives, and I think it's just a measure of some of the desperation that perhaps the BC Liberals and their leader feel at this point.
Okay, and also as I would like to come back to the issue of economics, and here comes the point with you having this role as a financial critic for a long time now. Again, it's being harped upon that if the other party, that is the NDP, comes to power, then the BC economy will be doomed. This is a party which is a pro-union, not pro-business, and these kind of things which are coming forward. So what would you like to tell our viewers today about what is your party's view on small business, and how do you plan to further take it to a better level?
Well, it's hard to deal with the fear-mongering, but I think what we have said is that we are going to shape our program to the economic times. So our program will be modest.
Right.
In other words, we're not going to try to solve everything, and there's a limit to what government can do, and I think we understand that. And if anything, the ability of government to deal with things as a result of international trade deals and as a result of some of the fiscal pressures is more limited, and we recognize that. And so our leader and many of our MLAs, including myself, have met with literally hundreds of businesses, whether it's business groups, BC Business Council, or whether it's individual businesses, small business associations. Our critic, Jagrup Brar, who's a critic for small business, has, I think, a very good understanding of the challenges that small business face. So I think we have a pretty good sense of what people in business are thinking, their anxieties. But don't forget, this was the government that did, for small business particularly, did nothing but introduce instability and in some cases chaos over the last 4 years. They brought in an HST that they didn't talk about in the election, and had a very pitched battle on that, and now there's more challenges as the HST goes out and the PST comes back. So their record over the last 4 years in terms of a stable, predictable business environment has been terrible, and we think that's what people want, and that's what we're going to try to deliver.
Right, and towards the end, I would like to focus on your constituency from which you are the MLA, and the issues which you have raised during the past time, and now what do you feel has been your major accomplishment, and where do you feel that something remained and you would further carry on that person?
Well, one of the things that in my riding is and I started this back when I was in City Council many years ago, is the city centre of Surrey.
Right.
I played a part on the City Council years ago in the decision to locate the SkyTrain stations, and welcomed the establishment of Simon Fraser University there. So I think there are real opportunities to make. And I congratulate the City Council of Surrey for making the decision to bring the City Hall there. There's a new library there. There's new residential construction, and I think we have the opportunity to make another livable, affordable downtown in the Lower Mainland where, well, maybe you won't have to go to Vancouver every time you need to do something.
Right. Wonderful. And best wishes. And the coming days and weeks, definitely we'll have you once again so that while the election is there, we are able to get some more perspective from your side. Best wishes from us and from our viewers.
Great. Thank you very much, Harpreet.
Thank you.